Iniciar a gravação. Bora ver. Tem que lembrar que esse daqui ele tem botões invertidos. De colocar em espanhol, né? Porque senão ele não vai funcionar. Spanish. Não tem nenhuma configuração de controle, mano. É que eu acho que meu controle tá bugado. Estou jogando esse daqui pela primeira vez. Normal. Agora tem um montão de cutscene. Se eu não me engano, só o rádio que não tá traduzido. Quer dizer, legendado em português. Ah, nisso. Deixa eu ver se tá certinho. Tá certinho. Hideo Kojima Game. Hey man. Olha o avião. É estranho, né? A ponta desse avião. O mosquito. Eu nem entendo, sabe? Porque aqui do nada fica em câmera lenta em algumas partes. Cara, tem uma cicatriz. Mas eu achei isso só na cutscene que ia ficar assim. Tá ficando em câmera lenta. O som tá bugando. Ó, 4K, ó. Realista. Pelo menos o FPS continua bom.
Put out that cigar. Connecting oxygen hose to interior connector.
Será que é só o áudio que tá ficando
Put on your mask.
atrasado e tipo... A cutscene tá normal? Não, a cutscene tá um pouco atrasada assim também. Câmera lenta, quer dizer. Câmera lenta, câmera rápida, câmera lenta, câmera rápida.
10 minutes to drop off. Hey.
Que ainda tem 10 minutos de cutscene. E faz mal fumar. Eita. Quase que o controle caiu.
Depressurization complete.
Checking oxygen supply.
Chegando no fornecimento de oxigênio.
Opening rear hatch.
Ainda bem que eu vi, mano. Senão o controle ia cair, ele tá vibrando. Olha o barulho do controle. Não sei se dá pra ouvir, ele... Coloquei ele em cima de uma capa de caderno. Aí faz... E aí, jogo?
External temperature minus 46 degrees Celsius.
Olha o controle, ele quer fugir.
To drop off. Stand up.
Controle tactile.
You'll be falling at 130 miles per hour.
Nossa,
Try not to
rápido.
get frostbite from the windshield.
Agora tá mais em câmera lenta ainda.
1 minute to drop off. Move to the rear.
Activate bailout bottle.
This is
Será que se eu
one
tivesse uma
for the
placa de melhor, estaria rodando melhor?
world's first
Tipo, não estaria pegando essas câmeras lentas do nada?
10 seconds to drop off. Stand by.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Eles ainda estão nos 5 segundos, mano. 3, 2, 1.
Spread your wings.
And fly. God be with you.
Abra as asas de mosquito. E agora controle doidão. Parou. Isso daí me lembrou daquela piada lá, mano, do porquê que os mergulhadores eles pulam de cabeça, mano. Eles pulam pra frente. É porque eles pulam pra trás eles vão cair no barco em vez de ir da água. Já tá começando a incomodar esse vídeo em câmera lenta já. Hideo Kojima.
Jack, I've got some important news. The head of the CIA has finally given us the green light for the virtuous mission.
Virtual mission?
No, the virtuous mission. The future of our Fox unit depends on it. If it succeeds, we'll be officially
Essa daí
organized.
tá bem, ó. Não tá igual aos outros
Virtuous
cutscenes.
Sounds like some kind of initiation ritual.
No, don't get cocky. This isn't a training op.
Right.
Correct.
So what exactly is this wonderful mission?
Well, about 2 years ago, a certain Soviet scientist requested asylum in the West through one of our moles. His name is Nikolai Stepanovich Sokolov. He's head of the OKB 754 Design Bureau, one of the Soviets' top-secret weapon research facilities, and the East's foremost expert on weapons development.
Sokolov. Isn't he that famous rocket scientist?
The very same.
Ele mesmo.
On April the 12th, 1961, the Soviets achieved the first manned spaceflight in history.
The Earth was blue, but there was no God.
Well spoken. The rocket that carried Yuri Gagarin to orbit was the A-1, known as the Vostok rocket. Sokolov is said to be the man most responsible for the multi-engine cluster used in that rocket. After Gagarin's flight, Sokolov left rocket development to become the head of the newly established
Deixa eu tirar o
Design Bureau.
mouse da frente, né?
From a lowly technician to head of a design bureau, that's quite a success story. So why do you want to defect?
It seems he'd become afraid of his own creations.
Afraid.
Call it a crisis of conscience.
And for that, he left his country and his family behind and went over the fence.
Not
E
exactly. One of his conditions was that his family was also to be taken safely to the west. He used a mole to get the family out first and succeeded in sneaking Sokolov over the Berlin Wall shortly afterwards. I was the one who conducted the operation.
The security on the eastern side was still full of holes back then. Then what?
We got Sokolov over in one piece, but the whole ordeal had left him exhausted, and we checked him into a hospital in West Berlin. It took him 2 weeks and more than 600 miles to get from the research facility in the Soviet Union to Berlin. He was in no condition to say anything coherent. And it was only a week later that we had something much bigger on our hands.
The Cuban Missile Crisis.
October the 16th, 1962, President Kennedy received word that the Soviets were in the process of deploying intermediate-range ballistic missiles in Cuba. The President demanded that the Soviets dismantle and remove the missiles. At the same time, he announced a naval blockade to prevent further missile shipments from reaching Cuba. But the Soviets didn't back down, instead placing their armed forces on secondary alert. Soviet transport ships carrying missiles continued on course towards
Fico
Cuba.
pensando, será que eu ia ter colocado meu webcam mais baixo? Ela tá na parede com fita.
Frantic negotiations were conducted through the UN's Emergency Security Council and unofficial channels to end the hair-trigger standoff. Finally, on October
28 de
28th,
outubro.
the Soviet Union agreed to remove its missiles from Cuba, and so the world avoided a nuclear holocaust. But in order to get the Soviets to pull their missiles out, we had to make a deal.
You mean the one where the US agreed to remove its IRBMs from Turkey?
No. The Jupiter IRBMs deployed in Turkey were obsolete. We were going to get rid of them anyway. They had no strategic value whatsoever to either the US or the Russians. The Turkey deal was a ruse, a cover story that was fed to the other intelligence agencies around the world.
So what did the Russians really want?
Sokolov. They
Ah,
wanted
ele.
us to return Sokolov.
You mean the Soviets pulled out of Cuba just to get their hands on Sokolov?
That's right.
What the hell was he working on?
At the time, we had no idea.
Agora sabe.
We were running out of time.
Eles já
Either
devolveram?
give up Sokolov or risk full-scale nuclear war. In the end, we had no choice.
In the end,
President Kennedy
war
gave in
never
to his
changed.
demand. The next day, I got Sokolov out of the hospital, handing him over to agents on the eastern side. Sokolov kept on screaming, "Save me," until he disappeared from my side.
Mas a família dele ficou nos
Then a month
Estados
ago,
Unidos.
we
É?
received some new information from one of our moles.
About Sokolov?
Yes. He was taken back to the research facility and forced to continue working on the weapon in question under KGB supervision. What's more, it's on the verge of completion.
So what kind of weapon is it? Something to do with space rockets?
No, missiles.
Mísseis.
Same technology.
I guess you're right. We don't know the details, but it appears to be a new kind of nuclear device. For
E
half a
aqui
year now, the
eu
Soviet
agora
Union
entendi porque era
conducted
10 minutos até
tests
pular,
in
mano.
semi-palatins.
Something to do with the weapon, I assume.
Vai ser 10
We're
minutos
talking
de
about a secret
cutscene.
weapon so big that Khrushchev
Ou
was
mais,
ready to pull out
será?
of Cuba to get it back.
Is Sokolov still in the facility?
No, according to our intelligence, he's in Selino Yask, a place in the mountains about 3 miles to the west that's known as the Virgin Cliffs.
The Virgin Cliffs. Nice name for a virtuous mission.
They moved him there just recently.
Why?
Apparently,
Why?
they're conducting a field test of the weapon.
Bem estranho o jeito
Our
que ele
best
fala,
chance to
né?
get him back. This mission would never have been possible if he was still in the research facility. This is our last chance. Sokolov must have known that too when he contacted us.
Achei que o cachorro tinha entrado no quarto. Ó, como ele desce. Ah, é, já. Não. Tem uma parte que dá pra apertar o botão pra ver em primeira pessoa enquanto tá caindo. Ó o mosquito. Não teve alguém que caiu de muito alto mesmo, mas a pessoa sobreviveu porque ela tinha aquela doença dos ossos. E os ossos são mais reforçados. Ah, já dá pra olhar. Bom, só estamos no final, então se eu terminar o jogo não tem risco de ter que rejogar ou fazer coisa específica pra terminar bem o jogo. Então já sabe como é que vai ser, né? Começo, já apanhando no começo. E no final tendo que ser um jogador de elite. Que nem no Silent Hill 3, mano. No final não ter mais bala e ter que calcular o tempo de bater e parar de bater pro bicho não atacar. Câmera lenta. Acho engraçado que a FPS ele fica bem, né? Tipo, fica assim.
The shock will be less than during a parachute jump, and the arm can handle up to 500 pounds.
So you're planning on going over the border in a single combat talent?
She's equipped with two 6-barrel 20mm Vulcan
Aí tá
cannons.
equipado, mano, com o drive que eu tô usando pra rodar o jogo, o Vulcan.
Sounds like she could hold her own against a battalion of tanks.
Even with the fuel in the reserve tank, we're facing a 4-hour time
Eu
limit.
imagino o frio na barriga, mano, que ele deve
All
estar
goes
sentindo.
well, it should
Eu já voei de avião
take
já,
a few
e
hours.
acredite em mim, eu já tive um sonho em
Home in
que
time for dinner.
eu ia pro ar, né? Eu nem tava caindo, eu tava subindo pro ar. Mano, o frio na barriga foi tão forte que chegava a doer. Nem chegou perto do, quer dizer, quando eu voei nem chegou perto do que quando eu senti quando eu tava sonhando. Mas tudo bem pular com esse paraquedas, ele não tá com os buracos não. Estamos chegando. Olha o FPS caindo, voltou. Minha mochila. Ó. A mão direita dele só tem 3 dedos, né? Pra fora, o resto é tampado. Provavelmente é pra usar em armas. O dedão é pra ativar e desativar a trava de segurança. Mas pra que serve o outro dedo então? Que isso que ele tá jogando fora, mano. Eu que decido que vai ficar ou não no inventário. O cara tá desfazendo dos itens. O pior que tá bonito pra PS2, né? Ah, vai estar legendado em espanhol, porque não tem tradução pro rádio.
Do you copy? You're already in enemy territory. Somebody might be listening in. From here on out, we'll be using code names to refer to each other. Your code name for this mission will be Naked Snake. I'll be referring to you as
Naked.
Snake from now on. You're not to mention your real name.
Snake?
Oh, you don't like snakes?
What do you mean?
You've eaten one before, haven't you?
In survival training.
I'm glad to hear that.
Ah, se for assim, minha irmã pode ser chamada de Snake
Careful,
também,
might not
mano.
have a choice.
What about you, Major?
Ela também comeu uma cobra no teste de sobrevivência. Ela é bombeira.
I'll be Tom. Call me Major Tom. This will be
Mas
a
imagina,
sneaking
um grupo de
mission.
pessoas no meio do nada, nenhuma comida, nada. Aí uma cobra casualmente rastejando pelo chão, mano.
This kind of infiltration is the Fox unit's speciality. In other words, weapons and equipment to procure on site. That goes for food as well. You're completely naked, just as your name implies.
Great. Now I see why you asked me if I like snakes. I suppose calling me Snake was your idea of a joke, too.
No, there's a good reason for that. I'll tell you later when the time is right.
Gotcha. Getting back to the subject, how exactly am I supposed to feed myself?
You've been issued a knife and a tranquilizer gun. Use them to hunt for food. You'll also find some medical supplies in your backpack.
Yeah, about the backpack. I lost it in a tree on the way down.
I see. Well, you better go back and get it then. You know where it is?
No problem. I can see it from here. It's stuck on a branch.
To climb a tree, stand in front of a tree that's covered in ivy
Que
and press
susto,
the
mano.
action button.
Achei que tinha
I'll be
pego
monitoring
o
your progress
negócio
over
do
range.
Atos.
We can't risk violating Soviet airspace, but I'll be in the gun ship. My frequency is 140.85. I'll give you a call if I need to talk to you. If you need to talk to me, use the send function.
Ai.
Okay, Snake, go get your backpack.
Mas acho que tem uma configuração que tá mexendo com os controles. Eu acho. Ou pode ser porque eu tinha umas coisas abertas quando tava testando. Assim fica em primeira. Pô, calma. É. Mochila, cor, mapa. Não, essa opções é outra coisa. Ah, mas de qualquer jeito. Curte. Eu tô com esse ativo, né? Tô. Vai lá. Ah, ela tá ali, mano. E aí, a gente vai subir isso? Não, desgruda daí. Como é que eu vou pegar? Eu acho que eu deitei. Ela caiu? Não caiu. Não tem um botão que fale alguma coisa, não? Como é que eu vou pegar isso? Ah, acho que saquei.
Snake, where do you think you're going? You can't expect to proceed with the mission without any weapons or equipment. First, you'll need to recover your backpack. It's caught on a tree to the south. Press the action button to climb the tree and retrieve your backpack. Is that clear?
Tá bom. Daqui a pouco eu tô com a... Eu tô apertando o botão de ação. Ah, esse é o botão de ação. Complicado.
I see you've retrieved your backpack, Snake. To equip a weapon, it's necessary to take it out of your backpack. In the survival viewer, choose weapon from the backpack.
Ela tá querendo
Available
espirrar.
weapons will be displayed in a window in the upper left. From that list, choose the weapon you want to equip and press the Enter.
Obrigado.
For other equipped items, just do the same thing from item.
Got it. Use the survival viewer backpack.
Yep, that's right. Survival is fundamental to this mission. After you've been out in the field for a while, your stamina will start to drop. If your stamina gets too low, it'll affect your performance. You won't be able to shoot accurately, for example, and your wounds won't heal as smoothly. Keep an eye on your stamina so you don't run out. To recover lost stamina, you can hunt for local flora and fauna. You can use either your tranquilizer gun or your knife to hunt.
My only weapon is Mark 22 Hush Puppy Tranquilizer Gun.
That's right. It's been fitted with its own suppressor. However, the suppressor will deteriorate every time you fire. Once its durability reaches 0, the noise suppression effect will be gone. So don't get too trigger happy with it. The suppressor's durability is shown in the icon. Any weapons and equipment beyond what you're carrying now, you'll have to find as you go.
I have to find my own weapons and equipment. Whose crazy idea was this anyway?
Solo covert actions are standard Fox operating procedure. You can't leave any traces of your presence. No weapons, equipment, footprints, sweat, or bodily waste. The same goes for bullets and cartridges, too. Your presence in enemy territory is already a violation of international conventions of warfare. There aren't supposed to be any American soldiers in Russia. It could spark an international incident. You can't let anyone see you. You can't let the enemy know you're there. This is a stealth mission. You're a ghost, Snake, in every sense of the word. There'll be no rescue if you're captured. The military and US government will deny any involvement in the affair.
Then I'll just have to take care of myself, huh?
I'm afraid so. You've been given a fake death pill for that purpose. SIS guidelines stipulate that soldiers on covert ops like this one be issued a potassium cyanide capsule. Tape it to your body so you can take it when you need to.
How generous of you.
Use it if you're taken prisoner by the enemy. Send you into a state of false death for a short time.
Fooling them into thinking that I'm really dead. So how do I come back to life?
Just take the revival pill.
You mean that thing they put in my tooth before the mission?
That's the one. But be careful. If you remain in a state of false death for too long, nothing will be able to bring you back. Remember that.
I'll keep it in mind. You said this was a solo mission,
Como é
right?
que salva?
Right.
I guess that means I can't count on any reinforcements.
Correct. The mission rests entirely in your hands.
Real one-man army.
Relax. There's a support team ready to back you up over the radio.
Who?
I'll introduce them to you. This time, survival is of utmost importance. The first member of the support team will be in charge of monitoring your physical condition, acting as a medic, so to speak.
Pelo
as well as
rádio.
recording your mission data. She's a member of Fox as well, and she's here on the gunship with me.
She.
Hello, Snake. I'm paramedic. Nice to meet you.
Paramedic.
As in a medic who comes in by parachute.
Aren't you going to tell me
Ah.
your real name?
Are you going to tell me yours, Mr. Snake?
My name, huh? It's John Doe.
And they call you Jack for short. You're a regular Captain Nemo.
A name means nothing on the battlefield. After a week, no one has a name. What's your name?
Jane Doe.
Funny.
I wasn't joking, but I'll tell you my name only if you manage to make it back alive. My frequency is 145.73.
Eu vou ter que lembrar.
Recording your mission data. Whenever you want to save, send a message over the reserved save frequency, 140.96.
So saving lets me record my mission data.
That's right. It also records the state of your health.
Good to know.
There's one more person I want to introduce you to, Snake.
Quem é?
Speaking of snakes, you remember the boss, don't you? A legendary soldier and your mentor. Actually, it was the boss that got the DCI's authorization in the first place. She's going to be serving as Fox's mission advisor.
Bosses?
She also helped me plan this mission. She and I were at SAS together.
Jack, is that you? How many years has it been?
Boss?
That's right.
Boss.
Talk to me. Let me hear your voice.
It's been
Treta.
5 years, 72 days, and
Ele
18
conta até as
hours.
horas.
You've lost weight.
You can tell just by the sound of my voice.
Of course I can. I know all about you.
Really? Well, I don't know anything about you.
What's that supposed to mean?
Why'd you disappear on me all of a sudden?
I was on a top secret mission. You didn't need me anymore.
But there were still so many things I wanted you to teach me.
No. I taught you everything you needed to know about
É que
fighting.
Platinum. Eu te ensinei tudo o que você sabe, mas eu não ensinei tudo o que eu
Rest you
sei.
needed to learn on your own.
Techniques, sure. But what about how to think like a soldier?
How to think like a soldier? I can't teach you that. A soldier needs to be strong in spirit, body, and technique. And the only thing you can learn from someone else is technique. In fact, technique doesn't even matter. What's most important is spirit. Spirit and body are like two sides of a single coin. They're the same thing. I can't teach you how to think. You'll just have to figure it out for yourself. Listen to me, Jack. Just because soldiers are on the same side right now doesn't mean they always will be. Having personal feelings about your comrades is one of the worst sins you can commit. Politics determine who you face on the battlefield. And politics are a living thing. They change along with the times. Yesterday's good might be tomorrow's evil.
Is that why you abandoned me?
No, it had nothing to do with you. I already told you, Jack. I was on a top secret mission. A soldier has to follow whatever orders he's given. It's not his place to question why.
Partiu o coração dele. Primeira vez que eu vejo uma cobra com o coração partido.
A soldier is a political tool, nothing more. That's doubly true if he's a career soldier. Right and wrong have no place in his mission. He has no enemies and
A
no
história é
friends.
grande, hein?
Only the mission. You follow the orders you're given. That's what being a soldier is.
I do whatever I have to get
Tá
the
assistindo um
job
filme
done.
legendado.
I don't think about
Parece.
politics.
That's not the same thing. Sooner or later, your conscience is going to bother you. In the end, you have to
In
choose
the
whether
end,
you're going to live as
war
a
never
soldier
changed.
or just another man with a gun. There's a saying, you know,
Tristeza de eu ter perdido
loyalty to the
o
end.
save, mano,
Do you know what it means?
do Fallout New
It means
Vegas.
devoting yourself to your country.
I follow the president and the top
O engraçado é que o save do
die for them if necessary.
The president and the top brass
do
won't be there forever.
Oblivion ele tá
Once their
salvando,
terms are
mas
up,
Fallout
others will
nem
take their
quis, né?
place.
I follow the will of the leader, no matter who's in charge.
People
Perdi
are
meu
the
mapa
ones
do
who dictate
Minecraft,
policies.
Then who does?
as configurações do OBS,
People's values change over time.
minhas
And so do
abas
the leaders of the
abertas.
country. So there's no such thing as an enemy in absolute terms. The enemies we fight are only enemies in relative terms, constantly changing with the times. As long as we have loyalty to the end, there's no point in believing in anything, even in those we love.
And that's the way a soldier's supposed to think.
The only thing we can believe in with absolute certainty is the mission, Jack.
All right.
Jack.
Do me a favor.
What is it?
Call me Snake.
Snake. Oh, right. Your code name is Snake. It suits you well.
That's right. The legendary unit that the boss put together during World War II was a snake. The Cobra unit. A group of heroes that brought the war to an end and saved the world. As long as you've got a legendary hero backing you up, you'll be fine. Isn't that right, Snake?
Yeah. I can't think of anyone else I'd rather have with me.
Pra coçar.
One more thing, boss.
Yes,
It's good to hear your voice again.
same here.
Tá me lembrando o
After all,
Leon e a
who
Ida,
knows
mano.
if either of us will make it out alive?
Igualzinho.
Snake, you are always best at urban warfare and infiltrating buildings. But
A
this is the
diferença é
job.
que ele não treinou o Leon, né? Foi o governo.
Those CQC techniques I taught you are sure to come in handy.
CQC. Close quarters
Mas será que ele ainda ganha nela no
I've been in the
combate?
Green Berets for the past few years.
Tipo, no 4 ele ganhou com a faca.
Not to worry. I'll be here to help you remember. After
O
all,
pessoal
this
pode
is your
falar
first
mal
actual
quanto quiser, mas meu
survival
Resident Evil
mission.
favorito é o
I'll be supporting you
6.
over the radio.
Depois o 2 e depois o 4.
The Major.
The boss is communicating with us by radio from aboard a Permit-class submarine in the Arctic Ocean.
O 6 foi o primeiro a
My
zerar.
frequency is 141.
O 5 eu só joguei bem pouquinho no começo.
Advice on battle techniques.
Gotcha.
Aí zerando o 6 eu quis jogar os outros, aí eu joguei o 1, o 2, o 3, o Code Verônica, o 4, o 5 e o Revelations. Revelations 2 eu não rodava e agora eu não tenho dinheiro pra comprar. Revelations 2. E nem o 7. E o 8. E os remake.
Snake, try to remember some of the basics of CQC.
Ó, o controle tá dando alerta, hein?
Commencing virtuous mission. Now.
Não. Como é que eu miro? Que? Ele mira pra um lado, pro outro. Ah, entendi como é que mira agora. Pera, isso daqui é uma cobra? Ah, então o Diego não estava brincando quando falou que dá pra se alimentar com isso. Eu fiz, ó. Ah tá, ele mira assim. Zona pantanosa de Dremochege. Não consegui achar o 3, o Withers. Sei lá, o comedor de cobra, mano. Só achei esse daqui com tradução. Que eu acho que ele tá com. Olha o passarinho. Ele tá com. Com. A DLC que tem do jogo. Aí dá pra mexer a câmera. Aquele 38/41 é a munição que eu tenho? Eles por acaso não vão. Ou será que vai? Ah, estão aqui. Ai. Para de graça. Tá de brincadeira comigo, mano. Ah, mano. O que temos na mochila? Ah, apertei o botão errado. Esse daqui. Baixeira, morte falsa, puro, prismático, detector de movimento, sonar ativo, sensor antipessoal. Não é pra ir com morte e força, não. Deixa eu comer uma comida, vai. Nossa. Ah, Baia Lake, é, mano. Olha. Mas eu já comecei bem, né? Pode falar que eu comecei bem.
Saving the game, Snake?
Guardar, vai. Não, eu errei o botão.
Good luck, Snake.
Thanks.
Eu errei o botão.
Do you want to save?
Sim. Beleza.
Hey, Snake.
Ah, da. Snake. Isso daqui. Chega, chega, chega. Ah, tá me contando toda a história da vida. Ih! O jogo não pausava quando você tava no menu. Ah, mano. Aí foi sacanagem. Eu me pergunto como é que será que vai funcionar. Ah, acho que esse daqui é a durabilidade. Tá, deixa eu equipar. Deixa eu salvar aqui então, vai.
Saving the game, Snake?
Sim, save again. Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down. On around. Só não fala que ela vai contar uma história.
Snake, do you know the creature from the Black Lagoon?
Nope, never heard of it.
These scientists are investigating a place deep in the Amazon called the Black Lagoon, and they get picked off one after the other by this fishman thing. And there was this scene when the heroine is going for a swim, and the creature sneaks up on her from underwater. Oh, I thought my heart was going to stop. I mean, of course, the 3D effects and it came from outer
Nossa,
space
porque eu tô
were a
numa
lot more
missão, né?
intense, but
It wouldn't be referring to you coming from outer space, would it?
how rude! Why do you say that?
Because no one on Earth could be as charming as you.
Fine, I'll just get to the point, Snake. Be careful of what's around you when you're in the water. Just imagining you swimming in those jungle rivers makes me think of you being attacked by a fishman.
Homem peixe, mano.
Fishmen aren't the only things that'll attack you in the water. Really be careful out there.
Okay.
And don't be attacking any pretty girls going for a swim, either.
Are you calling me a fish man?
You started it.
Ah, mano, toda vez que eu for salvar vai ter uma historinha. Para de graça. Eu daqui não. Esse aqui é um gavião, né? Por que ele me atacou? O gavião não ataca. Ou não era pra atacar, né? Gavião ele não era pra atacar. A coceirinha no nariz. Para cá, né? Norte de coisinha. Acho que como é PS2, ele tem checkpoint, né? Só não... Então, não preciso salvar toda hora, então. Só quando eu for parar de jogar mesmo. Ó, mano, olhos sérios, hein?
Major, I've spotted 2 enemy soldiers.
They're probably KGB troops sent to guard Sokolov.
Como é que eu faço?
K-47s and grenades.
Eu vou morrer de novo.
Snake, your presence in Soviet territory is already a violation of international law. You can't let the Kremlin find out that the CIA and the American
Eu entendi
government
porque
are
que ela
involved.
fala tanto, mano. Acho que é porque é pra não ficar salvando toda hora, sabe?
Don't engage them in battle either. This is a stealth mission. Got that?
The Major is right. The point of this mission is to sneak through the jungle without being seen.
Welcome to the
The success of the
jungle.
mission depends on how well you use your camouflage. Change your camouflage by selecting Camouflage from the Survival Viewer. The uniform option lets you pick your uniform, while the face option lets you change your face paint. Choosing camouflage that blends in with your surroundings will help you conceal yourself more effectively. Also, don't forget that anything that moves will stand out in the jungle. If you just stand up and run around like an idiot, you're bound to be spotted. But if you crawl instead, you should be able to sneak by without being noticed. You can see how effective your camouflage is by looking at the camo index. The camo index shows how well your current camouflage blends in with the surrounding area. The higher the value, the harder you are to spot, and vice versa. The key is to make yourself one with nature. Keep that in mind as you go along, okay?
Peguei da tela preta. Nossa. 45, 35, 15. Que isso? 45. 50, 45, 45. Que isso? Tá com máscara? 50. Deixa eu vir pra cá. Ah, dá pra passar por aqui dentro. Calma aí que tem comida aqui dentro. Ah, não. Tem comida mesmo.
It's just my imagination.
Não sei como é que cancela. Eu não consigo sair daqui. Aí. Não peguei item? Eu não peguei item. Não peguei item, ó. Achei que ele ia me dar a arma dele. Eu sinceramente achei que ele ia me dar a arma dele. Não fica em primeira pessoa não. Eh.
Just my imagination.
Aí não vai cair? Eu errei? Errei não. Putz, tem outra ali.
What's wrong?
Ah não, eles não vão ficar fazendo isso. Eles vão ficar fazendo isso.
What's wrong?
Quero pegar a fruta daqui. Anda pra cá.
Who was that?
Oh, filha da mãe. Deixa eu voltar aqui. Acho que eu vou guardar isso daqui, mano, para sonar detector. Mas esse tem bateria, será? Ah, tudo tem bateria. Vou colocar isso daqui. Aí tá olhando pra cá. Tem um caminho pra lá. Deixa eu ir pra lá. Acho que aí ele vai me ver, ele vai me ver. Ah, tá de costa. Ufa, deixa eu ir pra cá. Só que eu gastei muita munição. Vira pra lá. Eita. Será que eu consigo pegar ele por trás? O jogo é calminho, né? Quietinho o jogo. Ah, porra!
Something there. Who's that? Ah! Radio, call HQ.
Que louco, mano. Deixa eu ver onde eu tô. Tem que ir pra lá? Eu vim de lá, né? Que não tem caminho pra eu ir, ou tem? Tem não. Putz, lado errado. Vai pra cá. É. Sai daí, sai daí. Ele tem mapa, só pra saber? Acho que tem sim. Oh, errei o botão. Será que eu tô indo errado? Algo de errado não está certo. Eu vim daqui. Deixa eu ver aqui, mapa. Ah, tá. Vai por aqui. Primeira esquerda. Tem que subir? Deixa eu ver aqui. Ou apertei o botão errado. Já passei. Mas acho que eu entendi. Tipo, eu coloco ele pra dormir. Ele dorme. Mas se por acaso vir alguém acordado, vai acordar ele. O chato é também que ele não dropa nada, né? Ou era... Não sei. A gente entende já qual botão que eu uso pra fazer eles dormir. Vou usar menos já a pistola. R1. Só tem um. Ele vai fazer isso mesmo. Ah, mano, eu conheço esse sorriso. Ah, mano. É o sorriso de quem vai aprontar. Opa, eu tenho que trocar de arma. Mais um pouquinho, mais um pouquinho mais. Ah, eu não. Não foi.
There's nothing here.
Agora foi. Comeu uma. Agora eu entendi porque é comedor de snake. Tá, mochila. Tá, agora aperta isso daqui. Eu vou trocar pra faca só por medo de... Deixa eu ver, não tem ninguém. Tem uma cobra aqui? Não. Tem uma cobra na minha bota. Beleza, salvar aqui então.
Do you want to save?
Yes! Memory card 1. Nova partida. Sim. Vou terminando por aqui. Eu vou ter que sair hoje.
Snake, have you heard of it came
Só
from
terminar
outer
de esperar
space?
ela falar.
Yeah, you told me already.
So this astronomer sees a meteor, but it's really an alien spaceship, right? And the aliens start replacing the townspeople with clones and forcing them to help repair the ship. The 3D effects were quite realistic.
I've got all the real I can handle here in the jungle.
No, you don't get it. Precisely because it's realistic, with the images jumping out of the screen at you. It makes for a nice escape from reality. I have to admit it made my eyes tired, but it was really intense. Unfortunately, they don't make very many of those movies anymore.
When did it come out?
I was still in college, so probably about 10 years ago.
Guess I'm out of luck then.
You know, they're coming out with household versions of video cassette recorders. One day you'll be able to see old movies anytime you want. It'll be like having a movie theater in your own home.
Really?
It's like if you had a record with movie film etched onto it instead of music. It'll work the same way.
Here.
You want to say?
Não, não, não. Eu cliquei sem querer. Eu cliquei sem querer.
Okay, good luck, Snake.
Thanks.
Então é isso, né? Primeiro vídeo tá aí. Close. Efficient save state. Isso foi quanto? 1 hora. Então é isso. Falou!